a legend has emerged from the dust. A hero locked deep in the Kanto region on a divine journey. A quest of valor and marvel. His tale spans hundreds of hours and thousands of lepers. Through perils unknown, he marches. This is the tale of the PokeMMO Region Lock.
What's up? This is Team Rocket. Welcome back to the PokeMMO Region Lock. I've officially spent 1,000 hours only in the Kanto region, which means the 1,000 hour challenge is officially completed. I've been putting in insane hours to try to get my first shiny, but unfortunately, I haven't been so lucky. As of recording, my account is 185,000 encounters deep into my first shiny hunt. I've literally spent over 1,000 hours in one region and don't have a single shiny to show for it. That's not what this episode is about though. In this Region Lock episode, I'm going to completely review the progress of the account, leak my secret Kanto moneymakers, and share my overall thoughts on this game, the community, and the Region Lock after 1,000 hours of playing. I figured I can offer an interesting perspective to those considering trying PokeMMO, as I wasn't really into Pokemon at all before playing this game. Without further ado, let's get started with the account progress. Alrighty, and here we are in-game, and I figured it would only be fitting if I started the progress video where I started the account to begin with, in Pallet Town, in Professor Oak's office where I got my first Pokemon. And what kind of Pokemon trainer would I be if I didn't start with the progress of my Pokédex? So this is my progress so far on the National Dex after spending 1,000 hours in Kanto. As you can see, I have caught OT on 358 out of the 607 potential Mon, and I've seen 498 of them, and I've owned 444. And I think what's going to be the most interesting is looking at my Alpha Dex. So if you look right here, after spending 1,000 hours in Kanto, I have caught 84 Alphas, and I'm going to slowly scroll through this screen so you can get an idea of what I've caught so far. A lot of these might come from raids, like for example, the Lopunny I obviously did not catch in Kanto, that was from the raids. Obviously, if you look at my Kanto Dex, I have complete caught OT Dex of Kanto. Everything is complete on there as that's one of the Region Lock challenges, so, you know, that's all fine and dandy. What I find is super interesting, actually, is the Johto Dex. I'm actually 242 out of 256 caught OT on this. And the ones that I'm missing, I looked into it, it's not possible for me to get it. Like, I need Shuckle, which is one that's impossible to get in Kanto right now. I technically could get Gliscor or Gligar if I got a Swarm like that, but you can't get it in Kanto. And then, you know, the starters. That's all I have left in Johto, which is pretty insane considering I'm only in Kanto. But yeah, it's not possible. I do have Quilava, and I did get that from the Lunar New Year event during the swarms that were going on. I unfortunately did not keep the 2 OTs of a male and a female, so I didn't breed it, which was such an L. I literally could have, like, started breeding Cyndaquil. Like, I had 2 Quilavas that were my OT, and I could have bred them, and I didn't, because I'm an idiot, and I didn't know at the time, but I could have been egging Cyndaquil this whole time. But yeah, that's the Johto Dex. We're going to move on to the Hoenn Dex now, and same story with these starters. I caught these during the events, Grovyle and Combuskin, and I could have easily taken the male and female of my OT, bred them, and then be, you know, egging Torchic, and I think this is called Trico, I'm not really sure. But I could be egging those right now. That's kind of how that works. Like, if you wanted to egg those starters, you'd have to have caught OT on the starter. You can't have OT and then buy 2 other people's Combuskins and then breed them. It doesn't work like that. Real quick, guys, something my teammate just pointed out to me. You actually can have just a male or a female that is your OT and then just breed with a Ditto, and you can get OT that way. So you don't need a male and a female. You just need one of the 2 that is your OT. But anyways, I have 162 caught OT in Hoenn right now. I'm going to slowly scroll through so you can get an idea of what I've got going on in this region. Not as much as Johto, obviously. Moving on to Sinnoh right here, we got 196 out of 276 caught OT. Same story with the Monferno and Pernlep, which is such an L. I wish I knew about that earlier in the account. I didn't really consider egging the starters because I didn't think how important it would be. But yeah, you know, it is what it is, which I guess is a good thing because it shows that I haven't started the other regions as proof, because otherwise I would have one of the starters learned, but it's just unfortunate. All right, and we're moving on to Unova right here. Unova is actually, I think, one of my lower ones. I got 145 out of 297. We're going to scroll through so you can get an idea of what I've caught so far. Feel free to pause if you're interested in looking at this. That is pretty much the Dex completion so far. This is kind of what you can expect to get in 1,000 hours of playing or so, give or take. Alrighty, now that we're done looking at the Pokédex, let's go ahead and take a look at my box progress on the account after 1,000 hours. Alright guys, so moving on, I figured it'd be interesting to look at my boxes and what I've collected after 1,000 hours of playing. These are my egg boxes of what I'm currently egging. I always am egging when I'm shunting. I think it's a waste of time to be shunting and not egging. Especially in a region lock challenge where you have to get an out of region shiny, it's really crucial that you're always egging out of region mon. Moving on to the next box is just simply a Pineco box. I catch so many Pinecos in Altering Cave, I just figured I might as well make a box for them. I breed them all the time. I think a shiny Fortress would be sick. Although it's an in-region shiny, I just think it would be like a cool mon to have, so I egg it anyways. And now it's time to talk about the Guap and the account box. These two boxes actually contain a lot of the mon that are like pertain to my account. All my utility mon, you know, mon that I'm proud of, stuff I've collected, investments. So this is really all where all the nitty gritty interesting stuff is. This top row right here, I'm going to move this over so you can get you can see the IVs and whatnot. But these are just some competitive ready mon right here. I actually messed this one up and it has technician. I need the ability pillar to skill link, but this is you know, a Chinchino that's comp ready. We have an Altaria that's really good. I'm gonna use this for raids in the future. I need to turn this into some kind of evolution, but this is a really good Tyrogue. We got a really good Ambipom here. This is an NU ready Pikachu, but I mainly just use it for its abilities, you know, Surf, Sweet Scent, Discharge, Extreme Speed. I mainly just use it for leveling Mon at this point. This is a competitive Fracture. I do a lot of NU PvP sometimes, and Fractures and NU Mon. This is a Plusle that's comp ready. Bidoof that is comp ready for NU. And then we have a Shelgon right here. I just figured this would be a good mod for raids in the future, as really good IVs and stats. These mon on the bottom right here are actually all investments. So right here I have a Reap from 2013, Apom from 2014. You know, you guys get the idea. I'm kind of investing in 2014, 2016 mon. Just because they were cheap, I figured I might as well. And now we're going to take a look at the account box. This box right here is all of my utility mon, everything that pertains to the account. Anything that I would use on a daily basis, I keep in the account box. This right here is my gym rerun team. I know it looks a little janky, but I promise it destroys the Kanto gyms. This is all you need for the Kanto gyms. You just lead with Hydreigon and Electrode. Electrode sets up screens. Hydreigon uses Tailwind. And then you use Marowak to just Earthquake all the mon, and it doesn't hit the Hydreigon. It's a really powerful setup. Bonus points to anybody who knows what this specific team layout is for. I'm actually making a documentary type video that pertains to this exact team build and what it's used for in-game, but I'm not going to reveal what that is yet. But if anybody has any idea what this specific team build would be used for, shout out to you and leave a comment. Let's see if anybody knows. I actually have a lot of the mon that I'd be using and showing off in this box in my inventory, so let me move these over real quick. All right, that is better. So as you can see here, I have my Ketchinmon here, you know, my Breloom, my Parasect, and I also have a Smeargle, you know, the classic 3. You got to have those. Moving on, this is my Fiefmon, Gothitelle. I use this a lot in my 10-hour fossil grind. I have a Swarmmon here, a Flame Body Mon, a Teleportmon, Arena Trap. This right here is an Imprisoned Perish Song, Mismagius, for shunting Misdrevious in Lost Cave at night. This is a Reactive Gas Mon. This is a Self-Destruct Imprisoned Mon right here. Obviously a Payday Mon. You know, basically all my utility stuff. This is actually a PvP Mon. I don't know why this one's in here. And of course, I can't not show you all of the legendary mon that I've collected in Kanto so far. Obviously, we have the Shaman, the Zapdos, the Moltres, the double Articuno. I could technically have double Zapdos right now, but I don't ever encounter outside anymore, so it's just, I never really chance it at all. But yeah, guys, that is the account box. That's what the boxes are looking right now. I know it doesn't really seem like a lot, but a lot of the money is in these utility and PvP mon that I have. They're actually worth quite a bit of money if you sell it all. All right, so now that all that's out of the way, let's get into my goated Kanto moneymakers. Alright, and next we're going to be taking a look at my goated Lowkey moneymakers. So I'm going to be explaining two different money-making strategies to you guys. One of them is a self-sufficient way to shunt forever and never run out of money, and the other strategy is simply just to make a lot of money. Let's start with the one that makes a lot of money. So this spot is actually in Power Plant. The reason this spot is so powerful is because in this spot, when you're luring, you can get Electabuzz, Electivire, Reactive Gas Wheezings, Reactive Gas Coughings, and male Pikachus. You basically just catch the mon that I listed. So if you see a male Pikachu, you catch it. If you see a Reactive Gas mon, you catch it. If you see an Electivire, you definitely freaking catch it. This is so powerful is because the Electivire sell for more than an amulet coin. Like literally like 20k without an IV. If you get a 31 IV, it goes for even more. The Reactive Gas Wheezings usually go for above 10k. The Reactive Gas Coughings usually go for about 5k. And a male fairy like Pikachu will go for 3k easily. So, you know, add that all together when you're encountering here and you just catch all of them, you end up making a lot of money and it pays off the lures. My theory of why this is so good is because everybody's out encountering the birds right now. Nobody's inside encountering in Power Plant, so not a lot of people are encountering them. The next moneymaker I'm going to be showing you guys is actually a self-sufficient shunting method to where you could just keep on shunting indefinitely and never run out of money for your lures. And that is an Altering Cave in Kanto. I pretty much only religiously shunt here just because I really like the mon here. It has a really good mon pool. But the reason that this is so good for money is all the mon here are level 30. So you can just get a Payday Pickup Meowth that's like level like 40, 50, throw a Choice Band on it, and then you're pretty much one-shotting everything, and you can just train that Meowth all the way up to 100. All the pickup items that you get here, you get a lot of Hyper Potions, Ultra Balls, you know, just stuff like that. You sell those, you get Metal Coats, you sell those. What I do is I collect all the male Zubats here, and I sell those to my teammate, but I sell male Flying Boxes from here. I'm training the Meowth, and I'm also catching Mon, and I'm paydaying, so like it just ends up being self-sufficient. You profit like a very little amount, not that much, but honestly, it's just a way of single encounter shunting without running out of money. It's really nice because you can just keep cycling Meowths and keep doing it over and over. over again, and you know, the market's not going anywhere. So that's basically what I've been doing to get money. I've been shunting here, you know, just because it's self-sufficient. There's really good mon encounters, and I've been, you know, when I really need money, I'll go and hunt some reactive gas mon, some electivires and power plant. That's pretty much what I've been doing for money. And one last thing, guys, I did want to mention, I did change my in-game name to Team Rocket YouTube, so just Team Rocket YT, just so it's a little less confusing. My other name that I had was not similar to Team Rocket at all, and then people got confused, and it was just a lot easier to change it to this. All right, and now let's move on to my thoughts on the gaming community after 1,000 hours of playing. You know it's us, Team Rocket, and we fight for what is wrong. So I started playing PokeMMO around the Christmas event when all that was going down, and it was a really cool experience to be able to just join the game and have this really cool event happen where all these events were happening, all these videos were being created, and there was all this hype, and it just seemed very like, I don't know, it was just a really good experience. I really enjoyed when I first started playing. I had a really good time, 10 out of 10, did not have any complaints at all. You know, I completed my story, you know, pretty quickly because I played Leaf Green a lot when I was a kid. I was used to the Kanto story, so that came naturally. I honestly wasn't even really going for a region lock challenge when I first started playing the game. I kind of was just listening to what Petrowski would say in his videos, his advice, you know, where you should complete a story and then go do some MMO stuff afterwards, you know, enjoy the MMO aspects of the game, kind of dip your toes in the water, see what that, you know, has to offer. And I did that, and I really enjoyed it, and I kind of just never stopped doing that. And part of it was I was just kind of scared to try a new region. I've never played another Pokemon game, so Kanto just seemed familiar, so I just never really left, you know? It wasn't until I started grinding out Mewtwo when I realized what I was actually like on the path of doing and what I could potentially do with the account, and I decided to just stick with it. I did see a lot of people, you know, theorizing that I got this idea from Swampletics, you know, because I come from the RuneScape community, and that's absolutely true. You know, I've been watching Settle do his, you know, his whole Swampletics account for years now. I've been, you know, game locked accounts, you know, self-imposed challenges. I think that's really cool and fun. It's a good way to keep a game really entertaining, especially after you've already done everything there is to do in that game. And PokeMMO has so much potential. I really love this game. I come from the RuneScape community. I have a hardcore Iron Man and old school RuneScape that I have a lot of hours in. Coming from somebody who has dumped hundreds of hours in RuneScape, this MMO is amazing. Like what the devs are doing, all the moves that they're making, you know, most of the things that they're doing with this game, I totally agree with. It's how I would handle it, and it's honestly genius. This MMO has so much potential. It's really odd how it's just not well known, especially in the Pokemon community. Like, you think like everybody would be all for this shit, especially because it seems like the narrative is the last few Pokemon games haven't really been that crazy. Like, this game is amazing, and I'm honored, and I'm really happy that I'm able to create content for it. I'm really thankful for Petrowski and all those other content creators, you know, Barrels, PokeMMO Investments, all the OGs, everybody who kept the game alive and breathing on the YouTube side of things, because, you know, there aren't that many PokeMMO YouTubers, and I think there should be. Like, I think it's really good to have a lot of people creating content for community, as long as that content is, you know, has a positive impact, and it's, you know, benefits the viewer in some regard or whatever. In the last month or two, there has been a huge spike of PokeMMO YouTubers, and a lot of really good ones too. In fact, I'm going to be linking, you know, people who have just started making their channels in the last few months, and I think they're doing a really good job with their stuff. If you want to check out some new channels, feel free to check them out. They'll be in the description. But yeah, I think PokeMMO would benefit so much from just having great content creators like this, and I think it's such a good thing. So I'm really happy to see new people, new players are coming in and deciding to want to make content for the game. I think it's really positive. I also wanted to talk on the community side of things. This community is amazing. Like, coming from somebody who, I used to be a Rust YouTuber before this, and I made Rust content, and that game is so toxic. Like, Rust is the most toxic game I've ever played in my life. This game is the complete polar opposite to Rust. This community is so friendly. Everybody is super nice. Like, I mean, just look at the Petrowski Discord server. It'll be like Wednesday, and there'll be 20 people in there just hanging out, you know, random dudes that don't even know each other in different teams, and there's, you know, everybody's chill. You know, this community is so welcoming, you know, to new players and just everybody all around. It's a really refreshing experience, especially from somebody who comes from, you know, generally toxic communities. And that's why I think this game has so much potential. Not only is it such an amazing MMO, and everything that they're doing MMO-wise is just so good for longevity and just greatness, and just everything about it is really good. The community backs it up. Like, the community is great, the game is great, it's just a really good combo, and it's just really weird how this game is just not that popular, especially in the US. I feel like it should be, you know, popping off, and I think it will in like the next year or two. I think PokeMMO is gonna go crazy. But like, it's just weird. I feel like, I don't know, man. As somebody like myself who has never played, you know, a lot of traditional Pokemon games, I played Leaf Green. I played that a lot when I was a kid, so I'm really only familiar with the first 151, you know, Kanto region, all that good stuff. That's what I'm kind of used to and accustomed to. And as somebody who only played that, you know, I feel very experienced. I feel like I learned a lot. I feel like I feel comfortable moving on to different regions now. Like I didn't need to play the other games to be able to play this game to its full extent. I'm not limited by my Pokemon knowledge. So this game it's super friendly, it's super welcoming. I think it's really great, especially for new players. And before we part ways here, I did want to give a few tips or words of advice for people who potentially might get burnt out, because I hear a lot of people saying like, oh, I completed my first story, or oh, I completed the storylines and then I got burnt out. It's just because of the goals that you're setting. You need to set yourself some goals if you want to, you know, play a game. You can't just play a game and not have a goal. That's like playing Call of Duty and not having like a, oh, I want to do good this game. Like if you just don't have any goals in mind, obviously you're not going to care about it and it's not going to be interesting or compelling. And I have a really easy situation with the region lock account where like the whole account itself is a challenge. That's the whole goal itself. So like I'm always working towards something. So I don't really ever get burnt out even after 1,000 hours of being in one region. And I think that's just really the key. Like if you are worried that you're going to get burnt out, just make a goal. Be like, hey, I want to make some competitive mon. Hey, I want to do, you know, just stuff like that. Make goals for yourself. I think that really is valuable, and especially in MMOs where it's kind of open-ended and you can kind of do whatever you want and take your own paths. Before we go, I did mention in the last region lock episode that if you guys guessed if I would get my shiny before or after the 1,000 hours, that I would send out a Tenta. And because it was after 1,000 hours, everybody on screen right here is going to be getting a Tentacruel of my OT that I accidentally encountered. Thank you guys so much for watching this region lock episode. I'll have a new one out as soon as I can. Hopefully a shiny soon. This has been Team Rocket. Smell you later.